Hi there. So today I'm actually doing something quite different from what I usually do on my channel. While I do whistle often, I also follow politics. I got a degree in political science when I went to college, and it's something that is near and dear to my heart. It's something I follow avidly, and it's a hobby of mine, sort of to make predictions and to see if they come true on election days. So there's a big election going on today in terms of the presidential race. It's the very first vote being made on both sides of the aisle for Republicans and Democrats, the Iowa Caucus. And so I thought I'd just lay out what my predictions will be and see if they come true. We'll find out. So on the Democratic side, I think that the long-term independent senator, former congressman, former mayor of Burlington, Vermont, will win the Iowa caucuses. He'll come in first place in terms of total number of delegates gained, votes gained, etc. I think Hillary Clinton will come in second. I think Martin O'Malley will be third. The reason I think Hillary Clinton will be second is because she's a known entity in Iowa. She's not getting momentum. She's in the same similar position she was in 2008, in the sense that she was a prohibitive front runner going into Iowa and for some reason couldn't seal the deal. It's not clear what it is, if it's energy, if it's a lack of messaging that's inspirational, but whatever it is, she has fallen behind, right? You're not supposed to go from way ahead to neck and neck in terms of the political race when you're way ahead in terms of the beginning of the race. When you start the race with a ton of money, a ton of support, a ton of endorsements, and general advantages your way, it is a strange, surreal world where a candidate, Bernie Sanders, who started out very low in the polls when he announced, to rise as far and as fast as he has. There's something going on. And I think whatever that something is that's going on, that energy that's being captured, that energy is going to propel Bernie Sanders to a win tonight. I think turnout's going to be huge. I think it's going to be a big victory for Sanders. Not a substantial victory, but certainly at least a percentage point over Clinton. But that's a big victory for Sanders, considering that he's been widely touted as being in second place, when in reality I think he's inching his way towards first, and he will stay there should he win in Iowa, and he will continue if he wins in New Hampshire in a week or so. All right, on to the Republican side of the field. There's 12 or so named candidates on the ballot, and then there's the other category, which is I haven't really been following. But in terms of the named candidates, here's how I think it's going to pan out. I think that Donald Trump will place first. He's led in virtually every poll around the country. He's got a huge amount of momentum. He's got a lot of energy at his rallies. People are showing up in the cold, and he's got a lot of very interesting folk working for his campaign that know how to get people to turn out in a caucus. I think Trump will win. I think he'll reign supreme in this vote for the Republicans. Coming up in second place, I think it will be Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas. I think Ted Cruz has a really strong ground game. I think he's got a really powerful message for Iowa, and he's got the evangelical background that really works quite well in Iowa. Huckabee won in with that same similar background, but I think Cruz this time around has captured that conservative Christian vote, and I think that's what's going to propel him to second. In terms of third place, I think it's going to be Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio's had a very strong message, very eloquent speaker, and he's also had a little bit of a momentum with the debates and just what's been going on in terms of how his campaign's been progressing. In fourth place, I think it will be Rand Paul. Rand Paul has been speaking a really strong game. He got a lot of visibility and coverage when he decided to sit out of the pre-debate debate a few weeks back, and he got on the debate stage this time around. I think Rand Paul is going to place fourth. There's a certain segment of the Republican base that really does support his views. I think he's going to have a good showing. Ben Carson is who I think will place fifth. Now, Ben Carson had his momentum. He had that rise for a while, and it sort of has declined for now. But he's still got a certain base of support that is going to come out, sort of all the voters that don't want to vote for Cruz and the evangelical wing, but definitely think Carson's a good candidate. He's got an inspirational story. He's got some pretty fascinating views in terms of how he speaks and his life's narrative. And so he's going to get fifth place, I think. He's going to get a decent number of the votes. I think Jeb Bush will place sixth. Now, the reason I think that Jeb Bush is going to be in sixth for total votes overall is that Jeb Bush started out with just a lot of money, a lot of support, a lot of endorsements, but he has fallen really fast. When Donald Trump directed his ire at Jeb Bush and started calling him out as the no energy candidate, the candidate that's sort of not filled with momentum and all that, all those lovely descriptions that Trump had, well, they stuck. That Bush is not going to win, I don't think. I think he's going to be sixth. In seventh, I think it'll be Kasich. He just hasn't gained traction in Iowa. He might do better in New Hampshire, but he just hasn't had much traction. Fiorina, I think, will be eighth. She's stuck it out. She's been she's been back and forth on the main stage of the debate and the second stage, but I think Fiorina will do a showing, but she will not be in the top seven. I think she'll be eighth. Chris Christie, I think, will be ninth. Chris Christie's been in New Hampshire a lot. He's done a ton of events in New Hampshire, but not nearly the same amount of energy or momentum in Iowa. So I think Chris Christie will be in ninth place. I think 10th place will be Santorum. Santorum has done pretty well in Iowa before, but the problem with Santorum, and it's a problem that a lot of these candidates are facing on both sides, well, specifically Hillary, and it's a problem that a few other candidates are facing, like Huckabee, is that they are known entities. They've already run. They've already lost. That means that voters that are looking for new energy, new leadership, a new candidate to vote for, they're not going to turn out and vote for someone who already lost when they tried. It's just something I don't think will happen. So I think that Santorum will be in 10th. I think Huckabee will be in 11th. He hasn't had that same energy and momentum and pizzazz that he's had in the past, and I think he's just not going to deliver. It's not going to be a high vote for Huckabee. He's not going to place in the top three, that's for sure. But I think I just don't think his operation on the ground is that strong this time around. And then Gilmore, I think, will be in 12th place. Gilmore, I haven't even heard of. I haven't seen him on either stage of the debate. He just has not been very strong in terms of earned media, in terms of fundraising. I just haven't seen him, so I don't think Gilmore is going to rise above all these other candidates with all the money and the ground operations. No, I think Gilmore is going to be in last place other than the other category. So those are my predictions. Let's see if they come true. I'm just as curious as everyone else. I do not know the future. I'm simply predicting based on what I understand about politics, about the world, and about what I read.